We are just taking off from the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and I gotta say, I've been to both sides, and the north rim is so much more chill. It's more relaxed. It's not as big, there's not as many facilities, but it's just so much more relaxed. So I definitely prefer the north rim. Probably if you're flying into Phoenix or something, the south rim's the way to go, but if you're on a car, north rim is great. The campsite was great. Today we're on our way to Death Valley, and we're going to spend the night there. Now, as a fat guy from Iowa, I'm a little bit concerned about the temperature, but we're going to give it a go and see how it is. So we'll check in once we get there. We decided to take a quick detour to the Pipe Springs National Monument. This is an area where there was actually a natural spring in the Arizona Strip, which is a vast desert. And for centuries, it sounds like the area was a vast grassland that supported the Native Americans, a lot of wildlife, and was all fed by the spring, which is actually now inside of the fort behind me. Now, that fort was built by early settlers who came and wanted to make this a cattle ranch. And by curtailing the water that flowed out, they essentially devastated the grassland. And within 10 years, this area was no longer able to sustain the cattle that they wanted to raise here. And of course, all the native population and native animals had to move because there was no more grassland that sustained them, and they no longer had access to the spring. So sort of a cautionary tale, I guess, if you would, about resources and allocation of resources. Take that for what you want, but you know, as you can imagine, water in a desert was quite valuable. Just past St. George, Utah. Clearly we're on the highway at this point, going west. But I just thought this was really cool scenery, so I thought I'd just do a quick shot. In Death Valley. It is a scorching 123 degrees, and when you get out of the vehicle, it feels like you've opened the door on an oven. It just blasts you in the face. So it is definitely hot. We're going to climb up into the mountains a bit here, get some elevation, find a place to camp. But if you look out the window here, what looks like a lake is actually a salt flat, and this salt flat is 280 feet below sea level. Remnants, of course, of an old inland lake that evaporated a long time ago. And behind the lake you can see the mountains, and the highest peak on the mountains is actually 2 miles above the salt flats, which is the greatest change in elevation in such a short period of time in the entire US. So it's a pretty neat spot to be at. They've got extreme heat warnings out, so you don't see a lot of people out moving about. It's pretty quiet in the park today, but we are going to find a place to camp and check in. On the left, as we go up the hill towards the campsite, we've got something you don't see every day. It's actually a set of 10 charcoal kilns that were built in 1870s that were designed to create the charcoal used to smelt the silver and lead that they were mining out of these mountains. So we're climbing up to get out of the valley to get some cooler weather to camp in. We're now at 7,100 feet and the temperature has dropped about 32 degrees. So I think we're making the right choice here. We're looking for a spot to camp and be settling in for the night. We've climbed up to 8,000 feet. We found a magnificent campsite. Over here you can see Telescope Peak, which was the highest point in Death Valley that we talked about when we were down at the Salt Flats. That's the 2-mile mark. The temperature here is almost chilly. Can't wait for a great sleeping night. As you can see, we have a spectacular view. We couldn't have asked for a better way to end the day. So we're excited. We're going to set up camp. We might actually have to break out a tipple, and we're going to go ahead and get that going. So thanks, and we'll check in for a cheers in a bit. So another tip-top day is winding down. Again, we've got a fantastic campsite. So we started the day at a beautiful campsite overlooking the Grand Canyon, and we end the day with a campsite overlooking Death Valley. It's been a great day. So at this point, I'm going to hoist my glass and say cheers to everyone. Thanks for watching.